Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Bacon is My Podcast, where apparently the Patreon wasn't working well.
Yeah. Welcome to Discussions and Drinks.
Yes, with Bacon is My Podcast.
Bacon is My Podcast.
And today, I am drinking some good old-fashioned Jameson because, well, I had a lot of Aruba Rebas.
Yes.
So I'm going back to Old Faithful. I just got back from Aruba, and the official drink of Aruba is the Aruba Reba. According to the taxi driver who brought us to the
taxi drivers are good sources of.
He's like, you gotta have the Aruba Reba.
Right.
It's your thing. So that's I'm going back to Jameson, even though Jameson was included in the all-inclusive package, but.
Well, when you have Arubaritas,
Aruba Rebas, yeah,
you do Arubaritas.
Yeah. What about you, my friend?
I've got Jameson cold brew and root beer.
Yes, that's exciting.
Adult root beer float.
Look, give a little your ingredient list there.
Yeah. So well, this one's just Jameson and A&W. I'm using my sugar-free Zero A&W. In my opinion, the best zero-calorie drink that you can do. And you can also, if you choose, throw a little cream in there, or something like that, to give it a little bit more of a ice creamy type of melted root beer float kind of flavor. But this actually is pretty delicious.
Nice, very cool.
It's a good one. Welcome everybody to Cyber Monday. Hopefully you guys are listening and watching us while you're shopping for things.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, unless you're our patrons, and in which case you know what day it is. But we will talk about some Cyber Monday. We'll talk about some of the other December 2nd holidays and international and national celebration days. But we'll do that here in a sec. Let's roll. If I had a fritter, I would eat it with you, because it is also National Fritters Day.
Did you just say eat shit?
I said I would eat it with you.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a fritter. And
except
it's
corn
also,
fritters.
It's
Corn
also,
fritters are kind of meh.
Yeah, corn fritters are not as good.
Apple fritters.
Apple fritters are pretty
Let's
great.
talk about those.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
Pretty delish. I don't know the history of National Fritters Day. Let's see.
Someone likes fritters. I mean, that's...
Yeah, let's see. National Fritters Day on December 2nd allows for no frittering away of the time. So make haste and get them while they're hot. Indulge in the crispy goodness of fritters.
Okay.
Fritters are easy to cook and exist in different forms and cuisines across the world. We can look more into that if that's a thing we want to chat about. There's a bunch of national days. It's also National Write a Business Plan Month. It is National Cookie Cutter Week.
Just the cookie cutter.
Just the cookie cutter, because we already had a National Cookie Day that we celebrated a couple weeks ago. It's also National Skip School Day, so I hope that we got a lot of hooky going on.
This is early. Usually freshman, or not freshman, the senior cut day is toward the end of the year.
Thing. That's a whole.
That's a different thing.
This is national. They should all skip.
Okay.
Every grade just cut school today.
My kids cut the whole week.
Yeah.
They cut the whole week.
That's
well, they were off on Monday.
Right. It is also the Business of Popping Corn Day.
Right, which
is an odd title.
No, I think it's specified toward those whose business it is to pop corn.
Well, or like get to the business of popping corn.
I feel like they're celebrating the popcorn makers of the world.
It could be. Let's see.
But
get your kernels ready and pop into business of popping corn day. From classic buttery to unique flavors, indulge. Okay.
Well, so if you make the popcorn kernels, you're not really making popcorn.
But this is business of popping corn day.
Right. So
You're not making
it celebrates
kernels.
us.
You're popping the corn. Yeah.
Us who pop the corn.
Yeah.
Unless you pop the corn, put it in a bag, and put it on a shelf, and then you'd be celebrated.
That is also true.
Because it is your business to pop corn.
We should all eat popcorn today. It's all
Smart pop.
We should cut class, cut school,
Mm-hmm.
right? But make a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
Pop some corn, eat a fritter,
Yeah.
all whilst shopping for great deals on your electronics.
And cookie cutters.
And
because
cookie cutters.
apparently this week you got to celebrate cookie cutters,
Yeah.
which are way less interesting than.
It's also Safety Razor Day, Walt Disney Day, Play Basketball Day, National Impaired Driving Prevention Day, Universal Human Rights Month. That's one to get behind. Well, it's Special Ed Day, too.
Okay.
So for all our special education students, this is your day. Hope you're skipping school.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. I really do. What So yeah, man. Like it's been a crazy week.
Yeah. Welcome back.
You know, it's been wild. We record these before, so obviously we'd be remiss if we didn't say to those who listen on your normal streaming platforms and not our patrons here, we hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hope you're getting over your tryptophan hangover. And yeah, Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is a very interesting thing to me because I remember Black Friday being like
Right.
the thing, and now all of a sudden it's Cyber Monday. But I feel like you never miss any of those deals. Like,
Yeah, I feel like now, so from what I can remember, there were Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals that started weeks
oh yeah,
before Thanksgiving. So just so we know, the term Cyber Monday was first coined by the National Retail Federation, of course it was, in 2005 when they noticed people would continue their holiday shopping online while at work the Monday after Thanksgiving. Because at that time, many people had a faster internet connection at work than at home.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I like that. Well, something that you do need to look out for, which I learned about while I was in Aruba, is Cyber Tuesday is for specifically Travel Tuesday
Travel Tuesday.
is booking on, so tomorrow. If
So
today
travel
is
deals. You'll get lots
Yeah.
of travel deals.
Cyber Monday is today.
Right.
Travel Tuesday is tomorrow, December 3rd, 2024. That is Travel Tuesday. And apparently you get all sorts of crazy deals.
Let's keep an eye out. I like to travel.
Like 50 and 60% off places.
Now, I'd be interested to see how many Black Friday and Cyber Monday prices are the same price all year round, but on Black Friday and Cyber Monday they put a smaller, crossed out, higher price above it in the graphic.
Oh, that's going on like crazy. That is. I think those of us. All right, so we're in a weird society now. Now we can literally get whatever we want, whenever we want, when we want it, and click of a button, it's there, right? So buying people gifts for Christmas or even for their birthdays and stuff like that is very hard because by and large if there's something we want, we just get it,
That's true.
right? You know,
I think that makes it cooler though, because then you have to be a little more creative as a gift giver,
sure,
right?
Right.
Because you got to like get them something that they wouldn't think to get, or that they don't even want, but that they'll like.
yeah, yeah. I think if it's within our means, I need this, and you get it,
Right.
You know, like we're just in a day and age where we're able to do that. I mean, some people are not able to, but like by and large, a lot of people are that way, except for the big ticket items, you know,
Right.
which for the most part, you're not getting big ticket items from, you know, just a regular family
Also
member,
true. Yeah.
you know. So it's very interesting to me, but I think for me, for as long as I've not celebrated, but used Black Friday to my advantage, I've always looked at it because, like, I know what I want to get my parents and stuff like that, and Jen's parents, things of that nature. But for me, if I see something that I wanted and like it's a really good price, I would get it, you know. So one year our TV went on the fritz. I was like, okay, Black Friday, I'll go grab a new TV for us, and you know that'd be it. And then like Guitar Center used to do it too. Guitar Center or Sam Ash, I forget which one it was, but I went and they had a really good deal on a few items I wanted, and I was like, okay, cool, you go pick stuff up. You don't get a lot of it anymore because they don't have a lot of inventory, much like anywhere.
That's
They
true.
don't have a lot of inventory, but yeah, I have some pretty good deals that I've gotten on Black Friday. By and large, I wouldn't go to a Best Buy. I pick and choose my battles.
Oh yeah. I always found that like the stuff that I was getting for other people, like my parents or my brothers or anything like that, typically weren't things that were marked down on Black Friday.
Right.
Right. So more often than not, like Black Friday is a time where I've gotten myself things that I know I need to like get or upgrade in the like. I remember one year, like I got all new like silverware, right?
Mhm.
And like dishes and stuff, because like I knew that I needed to get that stuff, and it was like, okay, Black Friday, it's all marked down. I'll get it then.
Yeah.
So I end up getting myself more things on Black Friday than I do other people's stuff, because usually I already kind of like I have a direction, and those things never go on sale.
Right. Like video games.
Right.
You get video games for $20 that are normally $50. Yeah, I go for that stuff. One of the things that I used to love with Guitar Center and Sam Ash is they used to have headphones, like studio headphones for sale. And they'd be good. They'd be like $30, $40 pairs of headphones for like $10.
Right.
So I'd just stock up on them. I'd get like 3. Because when you have people using them, especially like a drummer or something like that, they get beat to crap.
They go, yeah.
But it's like, okay, cool. Well, you know,
I like gift cards on Black Friday, because a lot of times you'll get like Amazon or Best Buy or they'll run some kind of deal with their gift cards where like $100 gift card will cost you like $85.
Yeah.
Right. And so I will like I've done it before where I've known I was going to do holiday shopping anyway, and if I was going to do it on Amazon, I would buy like 2 or 3 of the gift cards and put them right into my account and just make an extra $50.
Right.
You know, and then just have that for shopping. I would just kind of use that. I've done that a number of times.
BJ's does that. BJ's does that with a lot of things. Yeah, if you get certain places in bulk, you save a little bit of money. We do it with Disney. If you buy $500 worth of gift cards, which is if you go to Disney, you can very easily spend it.
You're definitely spending that, yeah.
And we save, you know, like you said, you save, you know, $25, $30, $40, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's well worth it. well worth it.
Definitely. So yeah, one of those, like today on Cyber Monday, take that opportunity. See if you can make some money on some gift cards.
Yeah. I remember there used to be we had this discussion. I think you said you worked there. There was that was it Damon's was the name of the place?
Yeah, the ribs place. Yeah, I worked there for a while.
Yeah, and my dad used to go there. They used to have a promotion where if you went and you bought $100 gift card, they give you a $25 gift card. And every time we'd be like, "You want to get Damon's tonight? Yeah, let's get Damon's tonight." And my dad would go in the middle of the day, buy a gift card for $100, take us out, and 125 bucks would be right. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. That's why it's not around anymore.
Crazy that they went out of business. Yeah.
How do you give away 25%? Like,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, I guess you do when you go out of business.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's how it works.
I feel like that's like being in a band.
Yeah, I don't think I had many days working there that I was sober. So they also employ drunk and high people to bring you your food.
Oh, okay.
And work. Although I think that's pretty much every restaurant, to be honest.
I was just gonna say they don't drug test at restaurants.
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. I know. I
nor should they.
I worked at one restaurant for one day.
Which restaurant?
It was it's a place called Pastrami Plus.
Okay.
And
what did they serve there?
Funny you should ask. Yes, pastrami was their specialty.
Okay.
For those of you who need clarification, it was a Jewish deli. There was a Jewish deli chain that my family, we were close with the owners and the people who worked there, all sorts of stuff. So they were like family friends for a long time. It ended up closing down. And one of the guys that worked the kitchen opened this place, Pastrami Plus, which actually is still in East Meadow on Hempstead Turnpike. East Meadow, New York, Hempstead Turnpike, Pastrami Plus, delicious sandwiches.
Not a sponsor. Could be.
Not a sponsor. Could be. I haven't been there in a while because you know, I didn't want to work there and it got awkward. But yeah, so there was like this short time where I was just like, I need to make extra money. At the same time, I was still in a band and rehearsing 3 times a week and playing like once a week and, you know, just once or twice a week. And it was just like the schedule was a grind. So I already had my 40 plus hour a week job. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try it out. Came in and he was like, yeah, I'll give you like 4 hours, you know, 4 hours every other day or whatever it was. I was like, all right, fine. Come in and he's like, all right, so you're gonna peel this pile of potatoes, and then yeah, that's it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I peeled potatoes for 3.5 hours. And then he was like, oh, all right, I got some more. And I was like, okay. And I peeled potatoes for another 4 hours.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, okay. Your 4 hours is up. I mean, you can finish if you want. And I was like, I don't think I will. I'm going to go now. I don't know if the restaurant industry is for me. And that was it. I did not work there anymore.
I do think that's great. I do think that every child at some point in their life should have to work a shift at a restaurant or in some kind of customer service capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But food service, I think, teaches you a lot about yourself and people and the right and wrong way to treat people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think that's a vital lesson that needs to be learned. I think they should
Yeah.
all have that, and I also think that kids should have to go a year in high school where their parents don't buy them anything and they have to buy everything themselves.
Well, you know what's happening now, believe it or not. It's it's brand new. It just started this year, but Lacey's getting this thing called, I think it's called career studies, where they kind of show different types of careers, and they kind of just explain different routes in careers you can go. They do customer service, they do law, they do this, they do that, and they teach you from a super young age. And I was like, where was this? Where was this when I needed it?
Yeah.
Gavin knows all about, checks and all those things. I didn't learn that until
we were
senior
talking
year.
about that before. Yeah, I think that's awesome. They definitely
so
need that.
the economics and choosing a job and all that kind of stuff, career management and whatnot. The fact that they're starting it so early is super cool to me.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think that's amazing.
So I agree with you. I in high school worked in the food industry and customer service full time.
Yeah.
And mostly full time. So
I think you should. I think it teaches you something. I have I just was talking to I have a student at the School of Rock that is starting a band, and one of the other students that goes there was playing guitar for this band, and he was like, I couldn't believe it. He totally broke the neck on his Les Paul. I'm like, how did he do that? And apparently he put it in the trunk of his car and just left it in there for a week and threw other stuff into the trunk of his car and broke the neck because it wasn't in a case. And I was like,
What?
oh my God, like what? And he goes, yeah, he just got another one. His parents got him another one. And I'm like, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God.
What?
So there's a level of not understanding the value of things.
Oh yeah.
that needs to be taught to everyone, I think.
Yeah. I completely agree with you on that. There's a it's running rampant nowadays, and I see it with my son's friends. I mean, I think there's a little bit of it's like a little bit of naivety,
Sure.
naivete, if you will, where they just kind of like don't understand because it's just in their life.
Yeah, well, look at phones. Phones are
Yeah.
$1,000 now, and every kid's got like an expensive, incredible computer in their pocket.
Yeah.
Right, and they're leaving them places, and they're cracked, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
adults do it too, like working at a bar, just watching people walk away from their phones on the bar and stuff like that. I'm just like, how, God, guys, like, what?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys not have to buy your own stuff? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, people don't understand the value of things. I agree. It's baffling. And I am I am trying so hard not to get a new phone.
Yeah.
I am trying. So I am still on an iPhone 11. And every time they update it, man, I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,000. Don't want to spend
annoyed. I was so annoyed when I had to get one. Like, I was so mad because I was like, my phone works. It just stopped charging. Like, everything works. It's just not charging right anymore.
See, mine works, but like occasionally, like if you leave it open for more than like 30 seconds at a clip, the screen will just stop working.
Right. Yeah, I guess mine was doing that a little bit too. I guess.
And then you close the screen, you wipe it, and then you open it back up, and you're good to go.
Yeah. You restart the phone every now and then. Yeah.
30 to 45 second clip, you're good. Shouldn't be looking at the phone that much anyway.
That's true.
So, yeah, but this now Jen was like, so we were away, and we were trying to get pictures done, like like you passing by and people take pictures, and
Right.
can you take a picture? And I had my phone, and the guy's like, it's not working. It's not working. Jen's like, this is so embarrassing. We need to get our new phones. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, be like, give me yours.
Pinky, hey, I don't have an issue with my Samsung. Well, interestingly enough, my iPhone is like every bit of 5, maybe 6 years old, maybe older. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
that's true. And the inside of the iPhone is all Samsung parts anyway, so
right.
it's the ecosystem that we're all addicted to.
Mm-hmm. I like it better.
Yeah.
I just do.
The user experience for me. I get into this conversation with other people too, because there's always the iPhone Droid battle wars.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really care. I just once I started using it, I got used to a certain interface. And once you're used to that interface, and that interface works with your laptop and it works with the iPad, and it everything talks to each other, and I can use it all simultaneously, and I don't have to, everything just kind of works on its own. It's yeah, it's awesome then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. And honestly, what I hated about the droids is how much background crap would run.
Sure, yeah.
There was just a whole bunch of weird things that would make it freeze out of nowhere, and then they just add stuff to your phone and have it run, And I don't see that on my iPhone.
It's true.
It's probably there, but I don't see it.
I will say I do kind of miss the days though, where my phone was just a phone.
Yeah.
And then I had that iPod Touch, which had a few apps and played all my music.
Yeah.
And I would leave that in the car. And then I had a phone.
Yeah.
I like having it all. I'm not opposed to it. I use it all the time. It's made life easier. It's made workflow easier. But it also makes things more annoying, because now people expect you to either get back to them or get something done or send them something immediately because you can.
Right.
Whereas before it was easier to be like, all right, I'll get to it when I get home. Now you say I'll get to it when I get home. People are like, well, you could just do it now. They're like, I don't want to do it now. I want to do it when I go home.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that immediacy, that again, we live in this age where instant gratification is very, very much a thing.
Yeah.
And that's because we're just able to click on our phone and just do it. And I've felt that. I felt it for work. I've felt it for friends and people who've reached out and stuff like that. And being in that cycle and being in that mindset where you're like, oh, they're going to get pissed if I don't respond in 5 minutes. Then I start to get that way.
Right.
Where I'm like, they're not responding. What the hell?
What's wrong? That they read it.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. But yeah, I think I've definitely I've totally been trying to scale back my phone stuff, because especially this past year, it's one of those things where every time I go to put my phone away for a little while, I go to it and there's some sort of catastrophe that's waiting for me on my phone. So it's making me want to distance myself more from it, which is good, but also now I feel as if oh man, if I'm not there for that call.
Right, right.
Meanwhile, back, rewind like 20 some odd years, and if we were out at dinner and you didn't know which place we went to go to dinner, and you got back to somebody like 2 hours later, 3 hours later, they won't be like, where were you?
Right. Well, I also think the immediacy of things has made us more dramatic because I think
Yes.
it makes us think that things are a crisis that aren't a crisis, and that we need someone to get back to us, or we need to get back to someone because something's happening that isn't that big of a deal. And that, like you said, if it was 2 hours, like if someone panics right now and gets a hold of me right now and I have to talk them through their panic right now, then yeah, that's good. I'm glad to be there. I'm glad to help. But if I miss that call and I get back to them in 2 hours, generally they've figured it out by then.
Right.
Right? You've figured out your situation. You've taken a moment. There's, because of the ability to get everybody's immediate reaction and immediate attention, whether it be by like texting or even like social media or just by calling someone anywhere at any time. It's like you don't give yourself the time or the opportunity to kind of like chill out and
Yeah.
examine what's happening and like come up with a solution. So we're also like kind of making people weaker because they can't solve their own stuff,
Sure.
because it's too easy to just call somebody. So it's like kind of dumbing us down too, because I can call somebody and get the answer immediately, or I can look up the answer immediately. I don't have to think,
Right.
So I also think that's a thing where, you have to take those times. I definitely, when I have it so that no one can call me after a certain hour at night. Like I have it set to where it shuts it off. I have the few people that like Annie or my parents can
Right.
get through, but otherwise it's like, I'll talk to you in the morning. I'll figure it out, man. Or when I'm at work, like I have it so that I don't have notifications. I think that's the best thing that Apple has done, is
Yeah.
allow you to be like, shut off notifications for this period of time.
Well, I think it's also cool that they've broken it down too. So there's like layers of different people
Right.
where okay, I'm in work mode right now. So these people can I'm in relax mode right now. So these people can, and
Right.
all the ins and outs with with okay, if these numbers call more than once within 5 minutes, let it ring.
Right. Right.
A lot of like different things. I like that about it. I agree. I just, again, like, don't want it sitting with me all the time.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want it sitting with me all the time. Sometimes I want to play Monopoly with my kids.
Well, it's like anything else. Like you need to break the. I think what people have and they don't realize it is you have a relationship with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a relationship with the internet. You have
Yeah.
and every relationship needs breaks where you
Yeah.
need to like not be in the same room for like an hour. Not because anything's mad, not because anything's wrong, or because it's just because human beings need to separate from things and be human beings. They need like their time to do their thing. If I want to not answer the phone for an hour and play guitar or play a video game or go on a walk with my dog, like I don't want to ever feel like I have to feel anxiety about it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Like I'm looking at our comments here from patrons, and Donna was saying she was thought of posting on social media for people not to worry or be upset, but she needs to unplug. Like, isn't it crazy that you feel like you have to put out there publicly that you're not going to be public for a little while?
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? That if you just happen to not be online for a little bit, people start to wonder if you're okay.
Right.
That blows my mind. That
Yeah.
should not be like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I would call people if I haven't spoken to them in like a week. They'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I haven't heard from you. How's everything? Everything good?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like we don't need to be checked up on every day, and we don't need to check up on our friends every day.
Right.
Like nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. You know,
No.
you shouldn't feel like, and I'm not even saying like, and Donna, I'm not saying that's weird for you. I'm saying like that's absolutely a thing that you have to do. You have to be
Right.
like unplugging for a couple days, guys. Nothing's wrong. But isn't it crazy that people will think that something's wrong?
Yeah.
I had to
Bless you.
sneeze. Something was wrong. I had to sneeze.
Yeah. I never really thought about that. Like the whole fact that you have to say, "Hey guys," but now that I'm like, I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people do that.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Are you a fan of Bacon Is My Podcast? And you're like, where can I find more stuff?
Well, we got the site for you at baconismypodcast.com. That's where you can find literally everything. It's the portal to his stuff, my stuff, and our stuff, including Bacon's My Fashion.
You can find t-shirts, you can find hats, you can find all kinds of stuff to put on your body parts. You can also check out all of our awesome sponsors, get discounts. We always have the most recent and the best prices for you. And check it out also over at patreon.com/
Bacon is my podcast. Never changing.
never changing. Find us at baconismypodcast.com. Thanks for checking it out, guys. And remember to ask yourselves,
It's your bacon.
world peace. Thank you. I got a couple of bless yous for my sneeze. Thank you very much.
Yes. And this live podcast is how I check in with you. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? This is kind of how we check in with you guys too. So it's like, and yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't want to not see what's up with my friends. I just don't want my friends to feel like they can't unplug for a day without everybody panicking and feeling like they have to check up on them because something must be wrong.
Right.
You know, it's like, have your day. Go enjoy your day. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel like I do try and check up on people. Like my social media feed is just weird. Like I have such a like a sanitized algorithm because
yeah.
I ignore all the politics stuff. I don't read into it. I don't like. So I get like a lot of like the hot copper ball that goes through things pop up, and
those are very satisfying videos.
yeah, and band news and different things like that. Mine is it's very like music focused, music and comic book focused,
Right.
and I'm very lucky in that sense that because I don't engage in any political crap, that I don't tend to see a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the past couple of weeks, have no choice but to see it.
Well, we're in a weird transitional period right now
But-
that we all are
Yeah.
reacting to in different ways.
Exactly. So I have been avoiding it altogether, but yeah, I don't. I don't worry about people when I don't see them on social media personally, because I use social media differently. You know, I connect to my friends via phone or in person or you know through a direct message kind of thing. I don't check in on their latest thing that they're doing or their you know, like I don't know. I stay informed on projects my friends are doing, but because the algorithms still miss it. You know, like
Yeah, exactly.
but also, yeah, it's I got a weird relationship with social media.
I feel like I've always kind of just been one of those people that like you don't see or hear from for a while, and then you see or hear from when we're all there, and then it's like when we're all there, it's like, all right, let's get as much love and joy and togetherness and interaction as possible for this period of time that we're here, and then like I slink off again into the darkness. You'll see little things on social media from me of just like, hey, the podcast is doing this. Hey, my band's doing this. Hey, my dog looks like this when he looks dumb.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and I do have to get better, especially like putting ourselves out there, kind of thing. Our like doing the podcast stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ourself is like the extension of the podcast kind of thing, and
Right,
the podcast is us. So I have figured out that I do need to figure out my shit on social media. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. I just don't want to.
I don't want to either. I don't want to.
And there's also this there's this part of me that is really hard for me to overcome, that when I'm faced with something that's like, you have to do this and you have to do it this way, otherwise no one will notice this completely unrelated thing that you pour your heart into.
Right.
And I'm like, no. That's what comes into my head is like, nah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna then.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Because I'm like, no, you don't. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I believe that's a way, but I don't believe you.
If I didn't get tagged in the LTOB posts, I wouldn't have done anything. I wouldn't have posted anything. It was like, wow, this makes it convenient. I'm gonna post something now. Thanks for letting me collaborate. Now I don't have to do anything.
I'll jump back over to our patrons. Donna saying my problem is trying to slink off into the darkness. I think that the thing is that it depends on how you slink, right? Like when I slink off into the darkness, it's not, and I'm not saying that it is for you, but I'm saying for me, generally, I don't think that I come across like I'm trying to isolate myself or I'm trying to get away from anything. It's more of just like happy coming in the room, happy coming out of the room, see you when I see you. Right? And I think that sometimes we can get very introspective in thinking like I need to take a break. And when we need to take a break, sometimes that break comes across like we're trying to get away from things. And when you look like you're trying to get away from things, the people that care about you are generally going to be like, hey, no. Are you okay? Are you okay? What do you need? How can I help? What can this? So I think the delivery is a lot of it. I don't know if you run into that, Donna. I don't know if you run into that, Mike. But I think sometimes, like if you're a person that's generally not quiet, and then you're suddenly getting very quiet and you're getting very reserved and you are taking yourself out of it, I think people are going to be concerned just because it's not your normal routine. Whereas if you're loud and boisterous in the door and you're loud and boisterous going out of the door, and it's just like, see you when I see you, then it's probably easier to unplug.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why I've never really had a problem with people kind of like telling me not to do that or being all over it so much. So that's been my experience.
yeah, and the one thing that I've been I'm in therapy too. So like I'm kind of getting relieved of some of that guilt for not being there at the very time that the exact time that needs to be, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's difficult, but it's all your own. It's all your own feelings. It's all your own thoughts. Nobody thinks it like that. Like,
Yeah.
if you do step away for an hour or two, and I've done it. I've done where I have stepped away for a couple of hours, and I see a call, and I send it to voicemail, and then like for an hour, I'm like, and then I didn't talk to them. I didn't pick my phone up. I didn't pick, what do they want? Are they going to be pissed? Are they going to be upset?
Right.
No. The answer is no. The answer is no. They are not going to be upset. They are not going to be mad. They're not going to be upset.
And if they were, that's not a thing that's on you.
That's not. If they were,
that's a weird reason to be upset.
That's an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
That needs to be worked on.
Well, and also remember, like, it's okay to be there for people when they need you, while also not jumping every time immediately. You got to take time for yourself, and it is okay if you don't need their attention. And that's a thing that I think sometimes people forget too, is it's like you feel like sometimes people kind of need you to need their attention, and that's another kind of codependent thing that happens. But it's okay to be like, I don't need your support right now, so I'm just gonna go do my own thing. I can handle this. I can take care of this. I'm not, you're not saying I don't need you or appreciate you, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need to unplug and be by yourself. I figure out so many things by myself that sometimes take longer if I'm talking to somebody else.
Right.
Because I have this horrible problem of, no matter if it's my thing I'm trying to figure out or I'm trying to help somebody else figure out something, I have to think of it and think of how to explain it in 10,000 different ways, and then do that out loud with them, whether they want it or not.
Right.
Whereas when I'm by myself, I can generally kind of like go, oh, well, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Here's the answer. Right. And it becomes, if you're working on yourself, sometimes you got to work on yourself,
Yeah. I think that's really important. I think that, Donna, you gotta know that regardless of if you are there for somebody, regardless of, if they have an issue, or if, just in general, like, again, I think so many people are so needy of somebody's attention. I have just recently, over the past, I'm going to say the past like 3 months. I think I discussed it in private with Jimmy before. Taking stock in the people I give that attention to, because you'd be surprised at how many of those friends, those people in your life that you take so, like, they're coming to me with an issue and you take it to heart and you're just like, it means a lot that they're coming to me with this issue and I want to help them. You'd be so surprised at how many people are crying wolf to a number of different people. And that absolves you of all your guilt and all you feel like you're wrongdoing. And then also you think back and how many of those people are asking for advice and asking for your attention, and you give that attention, and it's a very simple answer. It's not the one they want to hear, and they continue to make those same choices, and they can continue to make those same mistakes. You are absolved of that. You're absolved of that guilt. You've done your time. It gets to a point where it's just like, I had to say to somebody flat out, I think you're making your own problems here. Like, that's not a problem. It wouldn't have been a problem. You made it a problem. And it's almost as if you wanted to make it a problem. And you really have to call those people out. That's being there for them and being sympathetic and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, there is a time and a place for it, but there are certain people who need a swift kick in the ass and be like, hey man, that's not a real problem because you made it that way. You chose to make it like that. This is why it's a problem, because you did it. And it feels insensitive. It feels rash. It feels, stern. But you know what? In the long run, you're going to help them, and you're going to help yourself. And then when you tell them that, it's not necessarily that they're not going to, you're not going to be their friend anymore. It's just that they know they can't get that attention from you.
Well, and it's also, if you take it upon yourself to make your job telling people what they want to hear, then that is all you will ever do, and you will be everyone's first call, and you will burn yourself out.
Yeah. Because
everyone's going to continue to call you all the time because you tell them what they want to hear. If you make it your business telling people that come to you what they need to hear, then it's going to be a lot less, and you're not going to feel like they're on you all the time. You will get those people that will try and make it a discussion or a debate to try and get you to come around and say the thing that they want you to hear, but people don't, it's not your responsibility to give advice, right? It's not our responsibility to give advice. Even though we come on the show and we give advice, we are by no means professionals at anything. Please don't take our advice. But if you do take our advice, because we're very smart.
The name of the podcast should probably,
right.
That's all the disclaimer you need.
Right.
That's how qualified we are.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. All we can tell you is our experience. And I will say that as somebody that is often called upon for advice, and there's times where it's taken and there's times where it's absolutely not taken. But that's okay too. It's not my job to give advice, but if I choose to give it, then that's my choice, and that's okay. But I also have to understand that when I give that advice, they don't have to take it.
No,
They don't have to do anything with it. They don't have to listen to it.
it doesn't matter how right
that's not
you think
part
or
of the
know you
deal.
are.
Yeah, that's not part of the deal either. But then after that point, if I decide like, well, I don't want to keep having the same conversation, and I decide to kind of like bow out of it and go, okay, well, I gave you my advice. I told you what I thought. I guess we can talk about something else now because my advice isn't changing, and whether you take it or not is up to you. Like, that's not insensitive. That's not, Mike telling somebody, hey, I think you're making this problem. That's not insensitive. That's raising the question. It's totally valid and it's totally okay. And if they don't want to give you that, they don't want to take the advice, they don't want to do anything with it, that's on them. That's okay
That's their
too.
prerogative.
This is not a, when you talk to somebody, there's this habit of trying to of people in crisis like to make a conversation transactional, right? And they're not. Conversations aren't transactional.
No.
We don't need to come out of this better than we were going into it. We're just having a conversation.
Right.
And if someone says something to me that strikes something and it's something I can use and it makes a better situation for me, awesome, cool. If they don't, then they don't. No big deal. And vice versa, same thing. We don't owe anybody anything. So
Yeah.
to feel bad when you're giving somebody real advice, just remember, you don't have to give it. If it makes you feel bad to give people the truth, don't give it to them.
And
Don't give them a
also,
lie, and don't give them anything else. Just be like, I feel bad when I tell you things that I feel like are going to make you feel bad, and any advice I give you right now is going to be that. So we probably shouldn't do this.
well, the other thing too is we all deal with repeat offenders, right? People who come to you all the time with the same exact problem, and they treat it the same exact way, and they over and over and over and over and over again. And it's your choice to continue to entertain it. It's also, it could be your choice to change the subject. Being a good friend, and if you've got a friend that's just incredibly steeped in a certain situation that they create for themselves, creating a distraction where they cannot talk about it for an hour or two, that's almost more help than any of the advice that you're giving over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's getting them out of whatever they're dealing with.
Yeah. And Don, I see, I just kind of give nothing lately, which comes across worse. I agree with you. I think that does come across worse.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit of that truth right to you. I think, you probably do come across worse by doing nothing. I think you honestly can't go wrong with honesty. Where we try and go wrong is when we take the honest thing and then we try and dress it up somehow.
Yeah.
Or we try and make it, try and sugarcoat it, or try not to give all of it. Or if you're friends with somebody and they're talking to you and they want advice from you, I think that the only thing that you can do is just be honest. And being honest doesn't mean calling them out in front of people or while something's happening or creating a drama situation.
Right.
But it means sitting with them and having a real honest conversation, going, well, here's what I'm seeing. And here's how this is coming across to me. What you're saying right now, or what I saw, or how I see you reacting in this situation, if they're coming to you with anything like that. I think that the only thing you can do is just be straight up with it and just be honest with it and be like, I'm going to be honest with you. And it's not it's not to hurt you, and it's not to make things worse, and it's not to drag things down. But if me being honest makes you feel a certain way, then that's why you need to hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a lot. My mom brought me up with this very much like the worst thing you could ever do is lie. And that was like the thing that was instilled in me. And as a kid, I lied plenty, and I've lied plenty in my life. And every time that I ever have, I just feel awful about it. And I've told people what they wanted to hear, and instead of what they need to hear, and that's never worked out either. And I've been disingenuous with people, and that doesn't work either. And the only thing that ever seems to like create a positive solution is when I'm honest with people. And when I do that, the relationships always are better. The discussions are always better. And then again, whether they take that advice or take that conversation and do anything with it or not, that has nothing to do with it. That's a whole other thing that doesn't involve me.
Right.
I just know that when I was called upon to offer my thoughts, I gave my thoughts in the most honest way that I could. And that has never served me wrong. And anything else has always served me wrong.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it.
Yeah. No. And hey, like the one thing that like Jimmy and I, our friendship is I consider quite strong, is because we've both been very honest with each other over the years. When things, there's always a way to reframe it. There's always stop looking at it just this way. And I've had to be told that from him a number of times with a number of different situations and vice versa. And we need that in our lives. We need that in our lives. And if people can't be adult enough and can't be open enough and can't be willing to change perspective in some way to better their lives, then you might want to think about cutting them loose a little bit.
Yeah. Being honest in your relationships and your friendships will never make them worse. It will only make them better. And if it does end one or strain one, then that's the direction that it needs to go. And that's for the better. Even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment, it's for the better, because everything changes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So just to take it to another thing, today is actual National Build Joy Day.
Oh.
So I want to finish today with that. So I want to know from you, you were in the tropics. You were drinking lovely beverages. What brought you joy this week?
My joy was my bacon this week. And my bacon this week was being in Aruba with my family, which was amazing. I can't recommend it enough. I unplugged quite a bit. I popped my head into certain things that served me positively.
Mm-hmm.
Like I reached out to my buddy Jim here a few times, him and Andy.
Tell me about some crazy desserts.
And foods and whatnot. And that was my bacon this week, was just unplugging, being in this like complete paradise, this tropical oasis that, man, I may never get to go there again. I'm planning on it, but like I may never like enjoy it.
You never know, man.
It was It was, and I said it several times. It was like one of the greatest weeks of my life. Was just being there with my family, hanging out, enjoying it. But more specifically, what else brings you joy is something called the Aruba Reba.
Yes. Please tell us how to make this. What do we got? What is in it? How does
All
it
right.
taste? First off, how does it taste? And what was your the experience with the first one?
The first one was, ooh, this is good. And it's good because it's, I explained it to Jim. It's basically it's a Long Island iced tea, but it tastes good.
Right.
Like, we all know what Long Island iced tea tastes like.
Yeah.
It tastes like trash.
You don't
with a little
enjoy
bit
a
of
Long
soda.
Island iced tea. You get through it.
You get through
Yeah.
you get through one of those. So it is vodka, a 151 proof rum,
Ooh.
it's something called kokoi, which is like an Indian liqueur.
Okay.
So it's sweet. There's a banana liqueur, grenadine, and pineapple juice.
That sounds incredibly refreshing.
It was incredibly refreshing, and I became the mayor every time I had one. I want to shout out my buddy Jesus behind the bar over at the Tamarind Aruba. It was wonderful.
That's
because and it mattered who made it, because there were a couple of different spots.
much like a Long Island. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a bunch of different spots where you can get it from, and like even at like dinner and stuff like that, you could just ask the waiter or waitress or whatever, and it was never as good as my buddy Jesus, who
When
made
you find
it.
a bartender, man, especially
That was
on
my
a
dude.
trip. Especially
That was
on a
my
trip.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jen's like, people like you because you're a good tipper. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's
That is
whatever.
that might be partially true,
Sure.
but they like
That's
you because you're the mayor, my friend. They like you because you're a fun guy.
Yes. I guess.
You're the
I guess so.
mushroom in the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Fun guy.
Fun guy. Yeah. It was. We're gonna make Aruba Rebas at some point.
Yeah, well, they're 151, so gonna go back in time.
Yeah. I've had several of those. Actually, in high school, we once bought a bottle of 151 just to burn things.
I used to put it on the very top of my buddy Dan and I, when we bartended together on Sick as Mondays at the Vintage Lounge. We created a drink called Hookers and Blow.
Oh.
And 151 was the floater on top of the shot, so that we lit it on fire. And that was before you dropped it into Red Bull and cranberry juice and then shot the whole thing. And it was 151. And I might have to ask him. I don't remember what that was. But it was 2 other liquors and then 151.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like a Sweet Jesus or Flaming Dr. Pepper.
Sure. Yeah, much like. It was kind of sweet, kind of like it gave you that metallic taste that a Red Bull does.
Right.
And it was on fire. 151.
Yeah. They don't sell it. They don't sell it in the U.S. anymore.
They don't?
Not 151. No.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's been gone for a few years. Very sad.
I did not know that.
I used to light my buddy's shoes on fire with it.
I used to light.
He would get
bar
very
tops on
upset.
fire. Yeah.
He would get very upset. He's like, "This is my shoes." I'm like, "It burns off.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fun. It'll be all right.
What about you, Jim? Jimmy? What brings you joy? What's your bacon this week?
So I'll tell you what. I had a few things bring me joy this week. One of them, honestly, was you going to Aruba. Like, just knowing that you were there and that
Getting rid of me. Okay.
Yeah, getting rid of you. I mean, Jesus. it's sometimes it's a chore. Sometimes. No, I was just happy that you were doing that for yourself and that you were getting to do that, and that's what a great birthday to spend. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. And then when you were sending pictures and stuff, just knowing that you were having such a good time and that you were like kind of stress free ish
Yeah.
for the week, especially after the weekend right before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so that was honestly part of my joy. I got some really good news from my dad this week. My dad a couple years ago found out that I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Spent a couple years kind of researching what he wanted to do about it. Decided to get radiation. Started radiation this week. 3 of his 5 treatments are done. His last 2 are Monday and Wednesday. Minimal side effects. Everything's going great. Everything's going amazing. I spoke to him for a long time today about it. So that brought me joy. I think that's awesome.
Amazing.
I played a lot of guitar, walked my dog a bunch this week. You know, like it's just I took a lot of time since we talked last time about how like I didn't know how that show was gonna feel, you know, and that was gonna like be such a cool thing for me. So I've been trying to like take time this week and kind of be in the moment and kind of enjoy and feel the things that I'm feeling and kind of doing. So just to kind of be more present and not walk into it with an idea of how I'm going to feel about it, or the mundane. You know, taking my dog for a walk in the morning is mundane. I do it every single morning. But if I don't think of it as mundane and I have something good to listen to and I'm noticing what it's like outside and I'm noticing what he's doing and stuff, it's just, I don't know, man. I've been trying to take stock in that. So just kind of being aware has brought me a lot of joy this week.
I like that. Noticing things and being aware of your surroundings and things happening. Like, yeah, things are pretty good.
Yeah.
Things get stressful sometimes, but things are pretty good.
And watching the end of the Penguin series, man, that show is awesome.
I downloaded all of it and I didn't get to watch any of it.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. It's so. Agatha All Along also, or House of Harkness.
Agatha.
House of Harkness. Or no, what did they name it?
No, it was Agatha All Along.
It was All Along. It was going to be House of Harkness, and then they changed it to All Along.
Yeah, it was great.
Right.
It was great, top to bottom. Great.
Yep.
Loved it. I'm so excited. What If coming soon? Super excited. Disney Plus, not a sponsor, could be. Did you watch the Wolverine and the Deadpool and Wolverine making of?
Not
documentary?
Yet.
Very good.
I did watch the Agatha making of, and that was awesome.
Okay.
But
yeah, definitely.
I got to watch the Deadpool. I'll probably watch that tonight, actually.
Yeah, you should watch it because there were some really cool. They were talking about how Ryan Reynolds was pitching a whole bunch of things for the new Deadpool movie.
Uh-huh.
And he was like on his very last pitch. And
yeah, and then Hugh called him.
Yeah. But some of the other pitches were really, really awesome.
I heard some about a Christmas one. That's
no.
Funny, and I heard
a Christmas one has actually happened.
Well, yeah,
It's
I know
gonna be
that.
surprised.
I know
Yeah.
that's happening too. Yeah.
There was one where it was basically frame for frame for the first half of Thor: The Dark World, with Deadpool in it.
Nice.
And then it kind of goes off after that. And then it was like there was like a Deadpool's deleted scene or outtake bonanza where it was scenes from movies in the MCU, and it just kind of showed that he was there the whole time.
Oh, it's just him like on the periphery of it.
Yeah, somehow one way or another. Yeah, but they have a lot of them. There's a lot that like really funny.
Oh, cool! I'll definitely watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Donna says you're watching Investigation Aliens and it's freaking you out. Yeah, well, wait till they release everything because apparently that's coming.
That's gonna come soon.
Apparently that's coming.
Like it. I kind of like it. Just saying.
We'll see.
About time. About freaking time.
Can you imagine if after all this they're like, turns out, nope.
Just kidding.
Right? They're like, we're gonna finally release all the information, and the information is weather balloons.
But wait,
And like
we
it
know.
was, imagine it was the whole time, and it's like irrefutable proof that here's how this one was a balloon, here's how this one was a balloon, here's how this one was a balloon, and everybody's just like, what? But I thought, what?
But nothing. Goodbye. I love that. Well, guys, thank you for joining us here on Discussion and Drinks with Bacon is My Podcast.
Yeah,
We're going to catch you next week where we talk about more things and things.
absolutely. And remember to take the day off today at school. Skip,
To buy some stuff.
buy some stuff,
Like
and
cookie cutters.
celebrate. Go bring joy to somebody. Here's your homework. Your homework, everyone, is just today at some point, randomly say or do something nice for somebody. Bring them a little joy.
I agree.
No matter how they react, even if you're like, I like your shoes, and they're like, blow me, I'm not interested. Just be like, all right, cool. Well, good, great shoes. Have a joyous day.
And if you can't do that, at least eat a fritter.
Yeah. If not being nice, eat a fritter.
Yeah.
Skip school.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?